All right, guys, welcome to the Digital Barbell podcast, take number 5. We just learned that if you're recording a Zoom meeting and you don't turn on Do Not Disturb on your laptop, you'll get a phone call and it'll just end the whole thing.
Man, I'm really surprised that has never happened before. I'm just recording stopped, erased.
Luckily, we're only 5 minutes in.
Still.
I would have really been upset. But this is episode number 3 of our Digital Barbell business series. We're trying to help online coaches and small business owners take their side hustle
to serious business.
The first 2 episodes, number 1, we covered kind of the outline of all the topics we're going to be discussing in this series. And in the previous episode, number 2, we talked about why you need a website, what you should have on your website, and all things website. Today, we are going to be talking about creating a lead generator and setting your email system and your email marketing up for success.
Awesome.
Making sure we are building this in a way that 5 years from now, this is like a machine that's running, just cranking customers into your lap all day, every day. Okay, picture this scene. You're an online coach, you've got an Instagram account, you post something, and boom, some famous person comes across it. You get invited to be on Good Morning America, whatever. And all of a sudden you go viral. You get 1 million visitors to your website. GoDaddy is calling you saying, hey, we're going to start charging you more money because you're using so much bandwidth over here. All those people are coming to your website. And then after a week or so, you got a couple people reach out to you, but things kind of die back down and you're back to basically where you started. And you weren't able to capitalize on all that attention that you got because those people are gone and you've been forgotten.
Or just a real life example where
we trying to say
you
that's not going to
didn't
happen?
Go viral, but you have a website that you created and now some time has passed and Google's indexing it. And when people search for what you offer, your website pops up. But you still have a plain website and people visit, they're interested, but you have no idea, no way of knowing who these people are. Mm-hmm. If, what we're going to talk about in this episode, you have a pop-up or some way to give them a little bit of something, a taste of what you offer in exchange for their email address, they've gotten a piece of what you offer and you have their email address now. So you can start to nurture this relationship through your email marketing system. And you know who these people are that are visiting your website and that are interested in you and your products.
Yeah. We talked in the previous episodes about how we feel like websites and email are where it's really at for, growing a relationship with potential clients. And we can count on just a few hands how many people have randomly found us on Instagram and reached out immediately,
which is very
for
few.
Coaching.
Yeah.
But we get clients all the time who have been on our email list for 2, 3, maybe even 4 years. And then when it comes time to hire a coach, we're the obvious decision, because we've been pouring into this relationship.
We've been in a
relationship.
Yeah, we've been in a relationship with these people, and perhaps they've even we don't know that they've downloaded something from our website. They've used it. They've gotten some results. They're interested in what we have to offer, but they're just kind of waiting for the right time.
Right. So how are we going to grab those eyeballs on our website, capture their email address so that we can start this relationship? I don't know about you, but I get a lot of junk mail. You get a lot of junk mail. Everybody is kind of hesitant to give away their personal information because we know we're going to get hit with something. We don't want to get spammed. We want valuable stuff for giving away.
Email is a coveted thing now. It used to be I'm not giving you a phone number so you can text me, but I'll give an email. And now email is like a coveted thing. You're not going to just give your email address away to anybody. Or a lot of people might have, I have a real email address and an email address that I'll fill out a form with.
So maybe you've been to a website, or maybe you've been to our website and you've seen something that said, grab this resource, put in your email address here, and we'll send it to you. What that is in the business is called a lead generator. Some people call it a freemium or whatever. But the thing is that you are giving away something of value to your ideal client in exchange for your email address. And we would recommend that as a new coach, you have something like this so you can capitalize on those eyeballs and you can start to form the relationship. And we're going to get into how do you form that relationship, especially when we have our episode on email marketing in general. But we got to start with having something of value to give away to somebody.
For our example, in our business, we're nutrition and training. I'm like, what are we?
What are we?
Online coaching plus nutrition
She's looking at the
is
sign
what we
behind
are. So we have nutrition seminars that we give out for free. We have anywhere from 5 to, I think we've even given out a 12-week program for free, a sample like travel workout, arms, abs, and you know the rest.
It should be, you should give away a product to somebody that is the kind of person that you want to attract and within your area of expertise. So if you are an Airstream dealer, maybe your free download on your website is, a checklist that says 5 questions to answer to help you pick the perfect Airstream.
Right.
Well, I don't know about you, but if I'm in the market for an expensive camper and I see a process that's going to help me pick out the right one and not make a mistake, I'm willing to give up my email address for that. Or like my sister, who's a play therapist, she has a guide that says, 5 ways to get your kids to calm down when they're feeling anxious. Like some parent that has an anxious kid is probably going to want that resource. So,
and in an example, the parent uses that, it works for their child. Now they've started to like trust your sister, especially, and now she's sending out emails a few times a week to parents on this list, and they really start to know her and trust her. And as soon as they're ready to hire a play therapist, she's the one they go for.
Yeah. Let's just put this out there that like, this is not a gimmick. This isn't like a trick that you're pulling the wool over your potential client's eyes. You should put a lot of effort into designing this free thing that you're giving away. It should look professional. It should include a lot of your personality, and it should actually give the person who downloads it the intended result.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking about one person in particular that I know has downloaded your 5-week arms, abs, and you know the rest program, and has done it at least 5 times in a row because she loves the program. It gets results. And we probably spent, I don't know, you probably spent a couple weeks writing the thing and then turning it into a downloadable PDF that includes a lot of information. And
I made like a video for every movement specifically for this program, like different looking video than our normal videos that, like you said, we spend a good amount of time making this because I wanted someone to have some value out of it.
This is basically your potential client's first taste of the level of service that they should expect and who you are. So know your strengths. Are you still like designing things in Microsoft Paint, or are you professional in Canva? Like, if you don't have the wherewithal to create something that looks professional, that's okay. Go hire somebody who can help you, because you don't want this to be a turnoff initially when somebody downloads it. And make sure that you pick a topic that speaks to your niche.
Yeah.
And this could be as simple or as complex as you want. Cheat sheets are really popular. Quizzes are really popular. We try to give something that's a little bit bigger picture than just a quiz or a cheat sheet, but that's just our own personal preference. Let's talk about something that we're going to talk about. Let me check my notes. Okay, so I talked about it has to be valuable. The most common way to deliver this is in a PDF form. Basically, the way that this is going to kind of work behind the scenes is you're going to create this file. It's going to be hosted on your website somewhere, or it's going to be hosted in a Google Drive somewhere. And when somebody goes to your website, enters their email address, what it does is it signs them up for a mailing list. And like we talked about on last week's podcast about having a website, you want that to trigger an automatic email when they sign up for your mailing list that automatically sends an email that you've pre-written that tells them where to go get the thing that you made. And just give them the thing. Like, don't try to sell them. It would be the equivalent of, like I said in the other episode, walking up to somebody you just met in the bar and asking them to marry you. No, just give them what they signed up for. And that's how you'll start to establish a
like in the Airstream example you gave, the first thing you get from Airstream should be the list of 5 ways to decide what Airstream you're buying. Not like,
hey, you want to come in and look at Airstreams?
Yeah, like a sales call first. Like, you just give them what they asked, what they signed up for, and now they have your email address. So if you forget that you wanted to buy an Airstream in 6 months, they're emailing you and you're like, oh yeah, I was in the market for an Airstream.
Exactly. And let me back up to the actual giveaway that you create. It's perfectly fine and even advisable to not only give the customer what you are promising them in the free thing that they download, but to, like I said, show your personality and also tell them ways that they can deepen their relationship with you through your other long form content. If you have a YouTube channel, make sure you tell them how to find that. If you have a podcast, tell them how to find that. Because the more touch points you can start to develop with somebody at the beginning of this relationship, the faster you'll shortcut that know, like, and trust factor. And and it's not even to like convince them that you're the right person for them. It's to actually learn if you are the right person for them, and then they can hire you. Because if you're not a good match for them, it's good for them to see that right off the bat. Leave your ecosystem and go find somebody who more aligns with their goals and their personality and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think one example is like when we first started online coaching, I think you specifically were a little hesitant of me using terms like burpees or CrossFit, et cetera, et cetera, even though that's my background and I truly believe in that type of training. And now that we go after clients that have a background in CrossFit, or they, you know, something,
aren't afraid to do burpees.
Aren't afraid to do hard things.
You don't have to love them, just
yeah. So we are not shy about saying like, we have a background in CrossFit, we do burpees, like we're gonna push intensity, all of those things, because those are the clients that we're looking for.
Yeah, I like that. And you're right. I confess, I was hesitant about it. And I feel more free now that we just talk about
now that we can talk
what
about
we actually do.
Right.
Okay, so I talked about when you sign up for, somebody puts in their email address, they join a mailing list. So what this has done behind the scenes now is it's kind of segmented the people that you've gathered information from into these different groups, and that shows you what they're interested in. So if you have a lead generator that's a calorie and macronutrient calculator, those are people who are interested in nutrition. Of course, there's probably some carryover to other topics, but if they downloaded a workout program that's based on bodybuilding, now you know that person is kind of interested in bodybuilding.
I don't think you explained this part right. Like basically each of your free giveaways, your pop-ups, creates a separate email list.
Right.
So when they download the arms, abs, and you know the rest, we know that they're interested in training. When they download the macronutrient calculator, we know they're interested in nutrition. Some people have overlap, like you said, but they each go on their own separate email list.
Right. You said that better. So it gives you the choice as now the marketer to decide what information you're going to send that person. Like if we signed up for the Airstream checklist and they sent us an email about the 5 best recipes for chili, we'd be like, I think unsubscribe. So it allows you to keep things organized on the back end. And you might decide if you want to send the same email to all of your mailing lists, but at least you have the control of who you're going to email to.
We use Squarespace for our email list and our website and everything. And when you are sending out these emails, you have all of the mailing lists that you have created right there, and you can check or uncheck which ones you're sending this particular email to.
Right. Let's go back to the benefit of why it's worth going through all this hassle. Let's say you're trying to keep up with all this through social media. Like you have DM conversations. This person was interested in this. This person was interested in this. Not only are you not going to be able to keep up with it very well, but once again, what if your Instagram gets hacked and it just disappears? You will always own your email list. It's always something you can export to an Excel file and take to a different website server, whatever. That's why it's worth it to do this hassle. Okay, going a little bit further with this, and we'll go more into this also in the email podcast, but you have the opportunity when somebody signs up for your mailing list to start a chain reaction of automated emails that happen after that one that sends them the program. Well, what's the benefit of this? It gives you the control of allowing you to introduce yourself to this client and provide them more, potential client, and provide them more information in a stair-stepped approach on the same topic that they downloaded the free guide for in the first place, or whatever the product was. So maybe in the first email that you're going to send them after they download the freemium, you're going to say, you're going to introduce yourself a little bit deeper. And then you already kind of know based on what they downloaded that they're probably having some common questions or roadblocks. You get to provide another email another few days later about that topic. And you can take this as far as you want, but having some sort of follow-up sequence after somebody opts into your mailing list is really important.
And I'll admit, I was a little bit hesitant on this part in the beginning. I was like, why can't someone someone downloads the Abs, Arms, and You Know the Rest program? Why can't they just be in our main email list and just get our regular emails? Jonathan writes 3 emails per week that get sent out to our email, all of our email lists. So why can't they just be on the regular email list? And what he's saying is that, like,
maybe they join at a time where I'm like doing a different theme for the week with the emails that really doesn't apply to them, or it's like, much more personal than it would be if you were just getting to know somebody.
So each each pop-up, I'll say, has a pre-written set of maybe
When we say pop-up, we just mean like the
lead generator. 3 to 5 emails that have already been pre-written to go after this person downloads this particular product. So, and they're scheduled maybe like a week apart each. So they download the product, they get the product. A week later, they get their first email that's been pre-written for this particular product. And then a week later, they get the second one, and so on. You get the idea. And then it's a lot to keep track of, but some email systems are easier than others to keep track of this. After they've gotten the final email, they can then go into the general email list. And if they're still interested, they haven't unsubscribed by this point, they start just getting the general emails that we send out 3 times a week. They're in the funnel, and 3 years later, they're like, hey, I want to hire you guys.
Yeah.
That's the long story of it.
So that sounds like a lot of work, and it is.
It
But
is.
think about the journey that you get to take a potential ideal client
Right.
through versus, just some random thing where they download the thing and you follow up with them maybe in a month or whatever. You get to control the entire experience, provide them with value along the way without even trying to sell them something.
Yeah.
Who do you think is more likely to, a year from now, 2 years from now, automatically think of you when it comes time for whatever service you provide, if you've been in that kind of relationship with them versus somebody who just like double taps on a reel that they thought was clever or cute or whatever? It might feel better in the short term to get that, hit of dopamine.
702
and I got all
likes or
these
whatever.
likes. Well, if you're just in this for likes, then this podcast is not for you, because we're trying to help you grow your business.
Yeah.
And these are fundamental building blocks of a successful business. Okay, here's another little tip too. You've gone to all the trouble to make this lead generator. Don't stop with just one. I've lost count of how many we have, and we keep them to live forever in the free page on our website. You should do that, because there'll be people who start browsing your website and be like, I want that.
Yeah, they see the initial pop-up, and then they can go to the free section of your downloads. We mention it in all of our podcasts. We mention our YouTube notes, all of these things. digitalbarbell.com/free. Go there, and there's like 12 to 15 things on that page that we've written that you can download them all if you want.
And take advantage of the work that you put into these things too. When you write a long form blog article and you get to the topic of how many grams of protein should you eat per day, if you have a lead generator that helps people set their protein goal, send them to that. And you can use this on social media too. Like, find ways to direct people to the free resources that solve their problems so you can start that relationship with them. It does take work, but it is definitely worth it.
Right.
Think about this as like you're building an asset. When you see those companies that get sold on Shark Tank for $100 million, those companies are worth something because they have an asset. And one of those things that they'll ask them even on that show is like, how big is your email list? And, if they say, oh, we don't have an email list, we just rely on social media, they ain't getting a shark. They're walking out of their shark list.
I think that it is so hard in today's, social media world to not focus on how big is your Instagram following and how many likes do you get. That is what's in our face every day, hours a day. It is really hard not to focus on that as the main popularity of our business.
And it's going to be a slow growth of your email list too. It's like you've got a piece of content that goes viral and you gain 100, 200, 1,000 followers, whatever. That's possible. But it's unlikely that your email list is going to go viral, but that you still have to put in the effort and watch it grow slowly over time.
And to those followers, you're one of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that they scroll by on Instagram or Facebook every so often, or whenever Facebook and Instagram decide to pop you back into their feed.
Yeah.
These emails, this website, these are the things that you can control that they're seeing and that they're getting.
I think the right number of lead generators to try to develop every year is right around 3 or 4. What do you think?
Yeah, because it's not like we said, unless you're just putting up like a quiz or like 5 ways to, even those should take a lot of time and effort and be a professional product. So we're like we said before, we're talking about developing a very professional looking product that people will know, like, and trust you from. So they shouldn't be just like quick, every week they're changing and I'm just like creating these things in an hour.
Yeah. And if you're stuck on trying to figure out, okay, well, what should I make? Like, really all you have to do is think about what problem does your company solve, and like, what is a way you can help solve a small piece of that problem for your ideal client, and then write a product around that.
Yeah, I think like an example in our business is I wrote a program called Abs, Arms, and You Know the Rest, because we face our business. We've decided we're going after people who have worked out a lot in their lifetime, but have not gotten visible results from it. So our whole motto is like, you work hard, you deserve results. Look like you work out. And that program, because it's called Abs, Arms, and You Know the Rest, you know what we're talking about, it pinpoints the body parts that they're looking for. It's exactly the type of people that we want. They want to work hard. They want to see the visible results of their hard work. That has gotten so many people to download, and we have gotten so many clients that have done that and loved it. And that's just a good example of like, it took a long time. This was years in the making of figuring out this, but we've figured out the clients we want to go for. We wrote a product for them and they like it. And then they end up hiring us because of it.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to be specific. We've said before, if you're for everyone, you're for no one. So lay it out there, decide who you want to work with, and be specific about going after the things that those people want. All right, let's summarize this bad boy. You ready?
All right.
Okay. You need a lead generator, because you need to be able to capture contact information for the people that could potentially become your clients over time.
Who are already visiting your already made website.
That's right. Use your lead generator to legitimately solve a micro problem for your client. This is not a gimmick. Don't try to do something shady or you just give them some fluff. Really solve their problem so you can establish yourself as an expert in their mind. Include a way to showcase your personality in the experience. Start to build a relationship and start to form the chain of communication after they download your free product to start deepening that relationship. If you're not already doing things like podcasts and YouTube and that kind of stuff, you should be. We'll get to that later. But to direct them to other ways that they can learn more about you. It's all about forming multiple touch points with the potential clients that are out there.
Yeah.
Make it look professional. If you have to invest some money in design, there's no shame in that. This is the first time that somebody's going to get to experience you, so make it count. And then, like I said, bring them into a journey that helps to establish that know, like, and trust as soon as possible without even asking them to buy anything.
Yeah.
All right. That's this episode. Stay tuned for next week. We're going to be getting into email marketing in even more detail. Everybody seems to be waiting for this one based on the replies that I've gotten. All right. You guys have a good day.